You're born at the American Hospital of Paris. Before your mother even went into labor, the raid commandos had already swept every floor. Not just your floor, every floor. The parking garage, the roof, the building next door. You haven't opened your eyes yet, and 40 armed officers are positioned in a perimeter that costs French taxpayers 12,000 euros per hour. Your father became president when your mother was 7 months pregnant, which means you've had a security detail since before you had a heartbeat. The doctor who delivers you has been vetted by the DGSI, France's internal security agency. Your first photograph is taken by an AFP photographer whose lens will be displayed in the Élysée Palace someday. Within 2 hours, your name is trending across Europe. You're 3 days old, and your face has been analyzed by more people than most actors will ever reach. You didn't ask for this, but 67 million people already have an opinion about you. Your childhood happens inside the Élysée Palace, 18th century architecture. Gold leaf everywhere, chandeliers worth more than most people's houses. It looks like Versailles from the outside, and honestly, it basically is. Except you can't just walk into the garden whenever you want. Every door requires clearance. Every window has reinforced glass. The Republican Guard assigns you a code name when you're 5. Yours is Colibri, Hummingbird. You think it's cute until you realize it's not a pet name. It's tactical terminology for extraction protocols. There are men in black suits who will die for you, not because they know you, and because the Republic requires it. That's when it clicks. You're not just a kid. You're a symbol that needs protecting. School isn't normal. Option 1, a private lycée in the 7th arrondissement where your arrival transforms the entire campus into a fortress. Armed guards at the gates. Parents signing confidentiality agreements. Your classmate's birthday party at the Jardin d'Acclimatation requires 3 weeks advance notice and a security sweep. Option 2, tutors come to the palace, which means growing up in near total isolation. Option 3, a boarding school in Switzerland, where the GSPR rents the adjacent property and monitors every conversation you have. Whichever path your parents choose, the outcome is identical. You're different. Teachers are anxious around you. Parents view you as either a political opportunity or a threat. Kids either desperately want your friendship for status or resent you because their parents despise your father's policies. Your first memory of being truly different happens at age 7. You're at a friend's apartment near Parc Monceau, and you mention something casual your father said about the EU. Within 90 minutes, it's on Le Monde's website. Your friend's parents didn't record you maliciously. They were just excited. But you learn the fundamental rule of your existence. Everything you say, everywhere you go, reaches people who weren't in the room. Privacy doesn't exist for you, not ever. At 9 years old, you get a schedule. Not because you're exceptionally talented, but because your father needs someone young and photogenic standing beside him at state functions. All foreign dignitaries visit, and there you are. Tie perfectly knotted, smile carefully practiced, shaking hands with people who command armies. Your friends are watching cartoons. You're learning which wine glass to use so you don't embarrass the Fifth Republic. Your father calls it preparation. You call it unpaid diplomatic work. At 12, you discover Twitter. Your father just pushed through pension reform, and you make the mistake of searching your family name. 30 minutes later, you're on your bedroom floor having a complete breakdown after reading things no child should read about their own parent. Threats, insults, detailed fantasies about violence. You bring it up at dinner. He sighs, says it's part of governing. You haven't even chosen your lycée yet. And somehow people are already furious at you for decisions you had nothing to do with. Adolescence offers one escape: online gaming. It's the only space where you're not the president's son. You're just Colibri, and nobody cares who your father is. For 2 years, your closest friend is some teenager from Lyon who calls you trash at Fortnite. He never learns who he's playing with. It's the most genuine relationship you've ever had. Your first girlfriend gets her Instagram dissected by tabloids within 36 hours. Her parents' voting history gets investigated. Political commentators debate whether she's appropriate for the son of the president. The relationship doesn't end because you fought. It ends because she couldn't handle the scrutiny anymore. That's when you understand. Anyone who gets close to you inherits your cage. At 15, you attend your first state funeral. You're standing at Les Invalides while the tricolor is folded and presented to a widow. You never met this soldier. The widow's eyes find yours for just a second, and you don't know what to do with that look. Your father is still in office, and being there isn't optional. It's expected, required. You represent continuity, the nation, something bigger than yourself that you've never fully understood. Everyone promises university will be different. You choose sciences Po, hoping proximity to normal students might change something. It doesn't. The GSPR detail adjusts, but never disappears. Your roommate undergoes background checks that last 2 months. Professors treat you carefully. Some seem intimidated. Others overcompensate by being deliberately harsh, which is just another form of special treatment. You make acquaintances, but there's always distance. They're cautious about what they say near you. They know words travel. You realize authentic friendship requires equal footing, and you'll never stand on equal ground with your peers. You're always the president's son first, yourself second. Then comes the future. What exactly do you do with a life like this? Enter politics, and you'll be measured against him forever. Every policy, every speech, every vote compared to his record. Join the private sector, and they'll accuse you of exploiting the family name. Become a philanthropist, and they'll call it image rehabilitation. Pursue art or literature, and nobody will take you seriously. Every possible path has already been defined by who your father is. The cruelest part? You can't even complain publicly without seeming entitled. After all, you had advantages most people will never see. At 21, the GSPR asks an unexpected question. Formal protection is ending. From now on, it's voluntary. You can keep the agents or decline. It's the first real choice anyone's offered you about your own security. You stand there, unable to answer immediately, because you realize something disturbing. You don't know what it feels like to walk outside without someone watching your back. You have no memory of that sensation. It's never existed for you. You decide to try. An apartment in the Marais, rented under your name, in a building where nobody's waiting. No agents at the entrance, no cameras in the stairwell. For the first time in your existence, you enter a space and there's nobody monitoring you. You sit on the bare floor because furniture hasn't arrived yet, and you wait for something to happen. Nothing happens. Then you realize you don't know what to do with silence. You were never taught. From the day you were born, someone was always 12 meters away monitoring every space you occupied. Silence was supposed to feel like freedom. Instead, it feels like an empty room you don't know how to fill. You spend that first night on the floor. Your body doesn't recognize what it means to be truly alone. At 28, you meet someone who doesn't need explanations. She's the daughter of a former minister. She understands what it means to share a parent with the Republic. You fall in love carefully, cautiously, the way you've learned to approach everything. It's the first time someone truly gets it. And somehow that doesn't solve anything. You carry moments you'll never share. One night around age 5, still living at the Élysée, you wake up thirsty and head toward the kitchen. Your father sits alone at a small table, head in his hands, no aides, no security, just him. You'd never seen him like that. He never showed vulnerability to anyone. You return to bed without making a sound. You've never mentioned it. Not because it was forbidden, but because that image belongs to you alone. It's the only unfiltered thing you ever had of him. You think about entering politics sometimes. The name recognition would be an absurd advantage, but you've seen the cost up close. You watched it consume his health, his privacy, his peace. You saw what it did to your family. So you wonder, is power worth that price? Or is the greatest rebellion against your destiny simply choosing to be happy? You are the president's son. You grew up in a palace that belongs to France, with a code name before you turned 7. At 21, the protection ended, and you discovered you didn't know what to do with silence. At 28, You still carry the name. It opens doors, creates expectations, precedes anything you say in any room. Maybe you enter politics, maybe you don't. Either way, the first line of every article about you is already written. This is your reality, the most recognized and least known person in any room you enter. You visit your father on an unremarkable Tuesday afternoon. No special occasion. He answers the door himself. No aide, no protocol officer. He's wearing slippers. He looks smaller than you remember. The private residence is quiet, in a way the Élysée never was during his term. You have coffee in the kitchen, and he asks about your life in the same measured tone he used with Angela Merkel. Careful, diplomatic, slightly distant. You realize he doesn't know another way, that maybe he lost something in the process, too. You spend an hour together, and when you leave, he stands in the doorway watching you go. You can't decide if that's a father saying goodbye to his son, or a man trying to remember how it's done. Every day you wake up is another day carrying a surname you never chose inside a story that began before your first breath and has no clear ending. In this world, you remain forever caught between two identities. The symbol everyone recognizes and the person nobody actually knows.